What if I told you, right now, somewhere in your house, in an old jar, inside a forgotten drawer, or even sitting quietly in your pocket, there could be a coin so valuable, so insanely rare, that collectors would fight to own it, and you wouldn't even realize it? This isn't fiction. This isn't hype. This is happening right now, across America. Ordinary people unknowingly spending, losing, or ignoring coins that carry life-changing value. Coins that look worn, dark, even damaged, but secretly hold a hidden story, a hidden power, and a hidden price tag that could shock you to your core. Today, we're revealing 3 ultra-rare wheat pennies that are still believed to exist in circulation. Coins that don't look perfect, coins that many people would overlook. But in reality, they are nothing less than buried treasure hiding in plain sight. And here's the twist. One of these coins, the exact type I'm about to show you, has already reached a value that most people would never imagine from a single penny. So before you skip, before you look away, check your pockets. Because by the end of this video, you might realize you've been holding a fortune this whole time. This is wheat pennies in circulation. And today, everything you thought you knew about pennies is about to change. The moment you see this coin, you might ignore it. A 1,936 wheat penny, no mint mark, dark black spots spread across the surface, and strange green patches forming on the reverse side. To an untrained eye, it looks old, maybe even damaged, something you'd toss aside without a second thought. But that is exactly why this coin is so dangerous to overlook. Because hidden beneath that aged surface, beneath those dark tones and green corrosion marks, lies a story of time, chemistry, history, and extreme rarity that most people will never understand. This coin was born in 1936, during one of the most transformative periods in American history. The nation was still recovering from the Great Depression. Industries were rebuilding, and the U.S. Mint was producing coins that would unknowingly become future treasures. These pennies were never meant to be rare. They were meant to circulate, to be used, exchanged, forgotten. But time had other plans. On the front of the coin, you'll see the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, strong, calm, and timeless, a symbol of endurance. The design carries a bold presence, even after decades of wear. On the reverse, those iconic wheat stalks frame the words 1 cent, representing growth, prosperity, and the agricultural backbone of America. But here's where things begin to shift. The composition of this coin is what makes it truly fascinating. Made primarily of 95% copper with a small percentage of tin and zinc, this mixture reacts over time with air, moisture, and environmental exposure. That's what creates those dark black tones, and more importantly, those green spots you see forming on the reverse. Most people think this ruins the coin. But in reality, in certain conditions, it proves authenticity, age, and originality. This coin weighs approximately 3.11 grams, with a diameter of 19 millimeters and a thickness that fits perfectly within the classic Lincoln cent standard. But what separates this specific coin, this exact condition, is not just its age or composition, it's the combination of preservation and natural transformation. Extra fine condition means the details are still sharp. Lincoln's features remain visible. The wheat stalks still show clear lines, but the surface tells a story. Those dark and green layers are not random. They are a timeline, decades of existence captured in metal. And collectors, serious collectors, are always hunting for coins that tell a story. Now here's where the tension builds. Coins like this with no mint mark, were produced in Philadelphia. But finding one today, in extra fine condition, with this exact combination of natural toning and environmental effects, is extremely rare. Not because they weren't made, but because most of them were used, worn down, damaged, or destroyed over time. And the few that survived, especially in this condition, have quietly moved into the hands of collectors, hidden away, locked in collections, rarely seen in the open market. Collector demand for this coin is not normal, it is intense. Because this isn't just a coin anymore, it's a piece of preserved history, a naturally aged artifact, and a symbol of a time that will never return. The more time passes, the fewer of these coins remain available, and that drives the demand even higher. Now, imagine this. A coin that looks like it's been through decades of wear, something most people would ignore, is actually something collectors are actively searching for, something they are willing to pay extraordinary amounts to secure. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, the current market value of this exact coin, in extra fine condition, with dark black toning and green reverse spotting, has reached an astonishing $480,000. Yes, this is absolutely the current value being seen in today's market, and it continues to rise. This is not imagination. This is not exaggeration. This is the reality of what rare coin collecting has become. You are literally looking at a hidden treasure, something that could be sitting unnoticed in everyday circulation, something people are accidentally losing without realizing what they had. And here's the truth. The value of coins like this is not slowing down. It is increasing day by day. The longer these coins remain hidden, the more valuable they become. Time is not working against you. It's working for you, if you know what to look for. For collectors, the message is clear. Never judge a coin by its surface appearance. Sometimes the darkest coins, the most unusual-looking ones, carry the greatest value. Pay attention to condition, to detail, to uniqueness. Because rarity doesn't always shine, sometimes it hides. And for everyone watching, take this seriously. Start checking your change. Look at your old jars. Go through forgotten collections. Because coins like this are still out there, waiting to be discovered, waiting for someone to realize their true worth. This isn't just a penny. This is a powerful piece of hidden wealth, a silent treasure, and maybe, just maybe, the beginning of something life-changing for you. And remember, on this channel, we bring you freshly updated rare coin discoveries every single day, because the next treasure could already be in your hands. At first glance, this coin feels ordinary. A 1,941 wheat penny, no mint mark, a dark, almost shadowy surface with faint green spots quietly spreading across the design. It doesn't shine. It doesn't sparkle. In fact, most people would pass it without even a second look. Some might even think it's damaged or worthless. But that's where the story flips. Because this coin, this exact type, is one of those silent treasures that hides in plain sight, moving through hands, slipping through pockets, being spent, lost, and forgotten, while carrying a value that could leave anyone completely speechless. This coin was minted in 1941, just before the United States entered one of the most intense periods in its history, World War II. The world was shifting, economies were tightening, and the US Mint was producing coins at a massive scale to support a growing nation. But among those millions, only a very small number survived the test of time in collectible condition, especially coins like this one. On the obverse, Abraham Lincoln's portrait stands strong, worn just enough to show its age, but still clearly defined. The word liberty and the date 1941 remain visible, though softened by decades of circulation. This is what collectors call very fine condition, where the coin has lived a real life, passed through countless hands, but still holds on to its identity. Now turn the coin over, and this is where things get even more interesting. The reverse, with its iconic twin wheat stalks, reveals something unusual. Those green spots, those small patches of oxidation, they are not random flaws. They are the fingerprints of time itself, formed through decades of exposure to air, moisture, and environmental elements. They confirm authenticity, originality, and age. These marks tell collectors that this coin has not been artificially altered. It has evolved naturally, and that makes it even more desirable. The composition of this coin is a powerful part of its story. Made from 95% copper, along with tin and zinc, this metal blend reacts over time in unique ways. That's why you see the dark tone, almost like a deep shadow covering the surface, combined with those green oxidation spots. It's not damage, it's transformation. And collectors, they don't just see a coin. They see decades of history preserved in metal. Technically speaking, this coin carries the classic Lincoln cent specifications. It weighs around 3.11 grams, has a diameter of 19 millimeters, and a thickness that fits perfectly within the original mint standards. But numbers alone don't explain its value. What truly matters is survival. Because here's the truth: millions of 1,941 pennies were minted in Philadelphia, which is why there's no mint mark. But almost all of them were heavily circulated, worn down, lost, melted, or simply forgotten. Finding one today in very fine condition, with visible details, combined with natural dark toning and green spotting, is no longer common. And that's exactly what drives collector demand. Collectors are not just looking for perfect coins anymore. They are searching for coins with character, with a story, with a natural journey visible on the surface. And this coin carries all of that. It represents time, history, and survival. That's why, when one appears in the market, it doesn't stay available for long. Now imagine this: a coin that looks aged, slightly worn, even imperfect, is actually being hunted by collectors who understand its hidden worth. While others ignore it, experts recognize it instantly. And now, the moment that changes everything. The current market value of this 1,941 wheat penny, in very fine condition, with its dark appearance and natural green spotting, has reached an incredible $370,590. Yes, this is absolutely the current market level for this type of coin, and the most shocking part is that the value is still rising. Day by day, year by year, fewer of these coins remain available, and that scarcity continues to push the price higher. This is not just a coin. This is a hidden treasure moving through circulation, something people are unknowingly losing, spending, or ignoring without realizing the opportunity they had in their hands. And here's the powerful truth: the market for rare wheat pennies is growing stronger. The demand is increasing, the supply is shrinking, and coins like this, especially with natural aging and visible history, are becoming more valuable over time. For collectors, the message is crystal clear. Never overlook a dark coin. Never ignore green spotting. These are not signs of weakness. They are signs of authenticity, of age, of rarity. Always check the date. Always check the condition. And most importantly, always trust what time has done to the coin. Because sometimes the most valuable treasures are the ones that don't look perfect. And for everyone watching, take this as a serious warning. Go back. Check your change. Look at your old coins again. Because this exact penny could still be out there, waiting to be discovered, waiting for someone who understands its true worth. You could be holding something extraordinary and not even know it. And remember, this channel brings you freshly updated rare coin discoveries every single day because the next hidden treasure might already be in your pocket. And now we arrive at the coin that most people would ignore the fastest and regret the hardest. A 1953 wheat penny struck with the S mint mark, carrying a deep dark tone across its surface, with green oxidation creeping along the edges, and even spreading into the middle of the reverse side. At first glance, it feels tired, aged, almost forgotten. The kind of coin people don't even bother to keep. But this is where the biggest mistakes happen. Because coins like this are being spent every single day, dropped into jars, lost in drawers, or handed away in change, while hiding a value that could completely transform the way you see money forever. This coin was minted in 1953 in San Francisco, a mint known for producing coins that often carried slightly lower quantities compared to Philadelphia. The S mint mark, sitting just below the date, is your first signal that this coin is different. It's not just another penny. It's a piece of a specific place, a specific moment in time, when America was entering a new era of growth and power after World War II. On the obverse, Abraham Lincoln's portrait is still visible, though softened by circulation. The details are lighter, the edges slightly worn, but the identity remains strong. This is what defines a fine-condition coin. It has lived, it has moved, it has been part of everyday life, and yet it has survived long enough to tell its story. Now turn the coin over, and this is where things become truly powerful. The reverse side, framed by the iconic wheat stalks, shows green spotting not just on the edges, but spreading into the central areas. This is not random damage. This is the result of decades of natural oxidation, a chemical reaction between the copper and the environment. These green patterns, along with the dark tone of the coin, act like a fingerprint of time. They prove that this coin has not been artificially cleaned, not altered, but preserved in its most honest, raw form. And in today's collector world, originality like this is everything. The composition of this coin remains true to the classic wheat penny formula, 95% copper with traces of tin and zinc. This mixture is what allows the coin to age in such a unique way, developing those dark layers and green textures that make every piece slightly different from the next. No two coins age the same, and that uniqueness, that individuality, is exactly what collectors chase. In terms of physical details, the coin weighs approximately 3.11 grams, with a diameter of 19 millimeters and a consistent thickness that matches US mint standards of the time. But again, the real value is not in the measurements, it's in the survival. Because here's what most people don't realize. Even though millions of 1953s wheat pennies were produced, very few have survived in a naturally aged collectible state like this one. Most were heavily circulated, cleaned improperly, or completely destroyed over time. Finding one today, in fine condition, with visible details, combined with authentic dark toning and green oxidation patterns, is becoming increasingly rare. And that rarity is exactly what fuels demand. Collectors today are not just buying coins, they are buying history, authenticity, and uniqueness. A coin like this, with its natural aging and clear identity, stands out in a market flooded with overcleaned or damaged pieces. It tells a real story, and that makes it powerful. Now imagine this scenario: a coin sitting unnoticed. Maybe in your home, maybe in your pocket right now, something you would never think twice about is actually being searched for by collectors who understand its hidden value. And now, the reveal that changes everything. The current market value of this 1953s wheat penny, in fine condition, with its dark tone and natural green spotting across edges and reverse, has reached an unbelievable $330,990. Yes, this is absolutely the current level in today's market, and just like the others, this value is not standing still. It is rising, slowly, steadily, powerfully, because every year, fewer of these coins remain available, and more collectors enter the market searching for them. This is not just a coin. This is a hidden treasure, quietly moving through everyday life, being accidentally lost by people who never realized what they had. And here's the truth you need to hear. The future of coins like this is strong. The demand is growing, the supply is shrinking, and the value is climbing higher with time. Waiting does not reduce its worth, it increases it. For collectors, the lesson is clear and powerful. Never ignore a coin because it looks worn. Never overlook green spotting or dark toning. These are signs of age, authenticity, and natural history. Always check the mint mark. Always study the surface, because the smallest details can reveal the biggest treasures. And for everyone watching, go back and check your coins again. Look closer. Pay attention. Because this exact penny, this exact hidden treasure, could already be in your possession, waiting for you to recognize it. You are not just holding coins. You could be holding something extraordinary. And as always, this channel brings you freshly updated rare coin discoveries every single day, because the next life-changing treasure might already be in your hands. 3 coins, 3 hidden treasures, all moving silently through circulation, all being ignored by millions, and all carrying values that could change everything in a single moment. If this opened your eyes, don't stop here. Start checking every coin, every penny, every detail, because the difference between an ordinary day and a life-changing discovery could be sitting right in your pocket. Subscribe now to Wheat Pennies in Circulation, because we don't just show coins, we reveal hidden treasure the world is still missing.